Hello and welcome to daily news analysis of the Indian Express and the Hindu. So in this video, we are going to discuss all these topics that are mentioned here. And in the end, we will look at MCQs framed based on these topics. Now, before moving forward, set 10 of this highly recommended MCQ video series is already out, where all these topics are being discussed. So if you have not watched this video, then please go and watch it. It will definitely give a boost to your prelims preparation. Now let's see today's news items. So Supreme Court agrees to list plea for collegium system review. So Chief Justice of India has agreed to take up petition related to collegium system and its efficacy. So there has been various talks around the efficacy and questioning the functioning of collegium system, and recently our union law minister have also mentioned it that collegium system is opaque and is not accountable system. So this is a good development in that respect. So petitioners that have filed to look into collegium system had asked for revival of National Judicial Appointment Commission, popularly known as NJAC, for appointment of judges instead of collegium system. And further, in another news item, Gujarat lawyers enter Chief Justice Court protest against transfer of HC judge skip work. So this news item is also related to transfer of judge based on collegium system. So there has been various talks around collegium system and whether it is suitable for appointment and transferring of judges or not. So let us see a few facts about collegium system as well as NJAC. So collegium system is a outcome of various Supreme Court judgments, famously known as first judge's case, second judge's case, and third judge's case, under which the collegium would comprise of Chief Justice of India and 4 senior most Supreme Court judges, which will then recommend names for appointment of Supreme Court judges as well as for transfer of High Court judges. And this collegium will recommend names to president, and then president will appoint the judges. Now in 2015, 99th Constitutional Amendment Act was passed, famously known as National Judicial Appointments Commission Act, to replace collegium system with NJAC, but it was struck down by 4th judge's case, citing that it challenged the supremacy of judiciary. So now this petition is asking for revival of NJAC, under which it will be a 6-member body where Chief Justice of India will be ex officio chairman and total 3 members from judiciary including Chief Justice of India and 3 members from non-judicial part. So this was composition of NJAC. Now let us see the development in that regard in future. Moving forward, NGT files case on Mizoram stone quarry collapse. So National Green Tribunal has registered a case that have recently occurred with respect to the collapse of stone mining in Mizoram. So in that regard, let us see few facts about NGT, that is National Green Tribunal. So it is a statutory body that was formed in 2010 under NGT Act 2010 to look into cases related to environment. It does not follow the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. Rather, it functions based on principles of natural justice. Further, it can take action on its own. That is, it can take action suo motu. And further, as per its mandate, it has to dispose of cases or petitions within 6 months. So keep all these facts in mind. And further, the members as well as chairperson are appointed by central government. Now moving forward, this item is Mallaperiyar level up, flood warning issued for Kerala. So amidst widespread rain and in catchment areas, there has been rise in water level at Mallaperiyar Dam, which is located in Kerala, but it is operated and maintained by Tamil Nadu. Now, this Malapriyar Dam is located at confluence of Mallayar River and Periyar River. And Periyar River is longest river of Kerala. And as this is located in Kerala but is operated and maintained by Tamil Nadu, there has been a constant friction with respect to its operations between Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So keep these facts in mind. Now moving forward, this is a fact that can be used to support the argument that climate change is real. So according to a report by Center for State and Environment, that is CSE, in year 2022, 241 days out of 271 days from January to September faced extreme weather events, or 88% of days in first 9 months had extreme weather events as per this report. So this can be cited to support the fact that the climate change is real and its impact are being seen through extreme weather events in various states in India. Now moving forward, this news is related to international relations. Moscow format calls for minority rights political reconciliation in Afghanistan. So recently, the Russia is leading talks on Afghanistan and its stability, and it calls for respect all ethnic groups and minorities in a bid to create reconciliation. And further, it says that there must be ending of all terrorist infrastructure in Afghanistan. Now, from India's point of view, its importance is because India is also party to it. So a peaceful neighborhood would promote then relatively stability in the region. So the countries that are participating in it are Russia, India, China, Pakistan, and various Central Asian countries as well. So this is a positive development as India is actively involved in peace process in Afghanistan. News item is related to judiciary, where Center to Supreme Court review order freeing Rajiv Gandhi convicts, error miscarriage of justice. So recently 6 convicts in Rajiv Gandhi assassination case were released by Supreme Court, citing the reason that their petition with governor in 2018 was still pending and governor did not take action under its pardon powers. So in that regard, Center has said that there has been error and miscarriage of justice as Center is also a party to it, but it has not been provided an opportunity of hearing, and that is why please review this order. So let us see the pardon powers of president and governor in that regard. So pardon power of president and governor are mentioned under Article 62 and 171 respectively, under which there are 5 types of powers that are given. That is, one is pardon, commutation, remission, respite, and reprieve. So let us see each of these powers one by one. So pardon means it removes both sentence and conviction completely. It frees the convict completely. Whereas commutation means substitution of one punishment to lighter form. For example, from death penalty to life imprisonment. That is commutation. Remission is reducing the period without changing the character. For example, 30 years rigorous imprisonment to 20 years rigorous imprisonment. Respite is temporary commutation, means awarding lesser sentence due to some special fact, for example, pregnancy of a woman offender, etc. And reprieve means putting stay on execution of sentence for a temporary period due to some reasons. So these are the pardon powers that are given to president and governor. Now there are some differences between pardon powers of governor and president. That is, the president can pardon sentences inflicted by court martial, that is military courts, while governor cannot. So this is one difference. And the second difference is president can pardon death sentence, means president can free the convict, but governor cannot pardon. Means governor has all the 4 powers, that is commutation, respite, reprieve, and remission, but governor cannot pardon the death sentence. So these are the two major differences between pardon powers of governor and president. Now moving forward, so recently president has appointed new governor for West Bengal, and given the frictions between the West Bengal government and governor, it has been a good step in that direction. So in that regard, the newly appointed governor has said that I will act as rainbow bridge between center and state. So he is an ex-bureaucrat. So let's see some provisions regarding governor. So governor is appointed by president for a term of 5 years, subject to pleasure of president. Means president can remove him at any time, and president appoints governor on advice of council of ministers. So keep this fact in mind. Now this data again can be used for your mains answer writing in GS1 social issues. It says that there is only 14% conviction in POSCO, that is Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, that was enacted in 2012. So it says there has been only 14% conviction in that regard, and further 1/4 of accused are known to victims. So there is a need to have better investigation methods as well as streamlined processes to increase the conviction rate, to increase the efficacy of POSCO Act. Now moving forward, anti-terror financing meet begins. NIA DG flex social media. So from today onwards, no money for terror conference, which is hosted by Ministry of Home Affairs, will start in New Delhi. So in that regard, our anti-terror agency chief has said that the social media has been a conduit for terror financing through crowdfunding. So this has to be stopped. Now, if we talk about no money for terror conference, so the first edition was conducted in 2018. It was in France. Second was conducted in Australia in 2019. And third was supposed to happen in 2020, but due to coronavirus, it was postponed, and now it is happening in 2022. So keep all these facts in mind. And there are more than 70 countries that are participating in it. Editorial that supports new pension scheme and says that if we revert back to old pension scheme, then this would be fiscally unwise and it will undo the hard-won gains of reforms that were taken in 2004. So currently political parties are promising to bring back old pension scheme to lure voters and to win elections by not considering the fiscal implications of it. So in that regard, this editorial says that this is fiscally unwise because old pension scheme was based on defined benefit. That is, a government employee, retired government employee would get 50% of last drawn salary as a monthly pension. And this would lead to more fiscal burden on states and would curtail developmental expenditure on states' part. Whereas the new development scheme, new pension scheme is based on defined contribution, that is equal contribution from government and employee would be given a lump sum amount at the time of retirement and no pension benefits thereafter. So in that respect, it saves a huge amount of money for state exchequer, which can be then used for developmental expenditure. So it says that if we revert back to old pension benefits, old pension scheme, then it would be fiscally unwise as it would burden the state. And further, it says that as per RBI, the states had allocated 3.86 lakh crore in 2021 towards pension, which is nearly 26% of their own tax revenue. And if we bring back old pension scheme, then this amount would further increase, which would leave very little space for developmental expenditure. So it says that political parties need to take long-term view and resist the temptation of fiscally imprudent moves. So basically, it supports the new pension scheme due to the reasons that I have mentioned in this editorial. And the last news item of the day is about carbon border tax. So what is carbon border tax? So it is a tax that is imposed on items that are imported in a nation based on amount of carbon emission that it has emitted while producing it. So for example, if an item X is produced, then if it has emitted carbon emissions Y, then the tax would be imposed based on amount of carbon emissions that is emitted. Now it is detrimental for developing countries like India because we heavily rely on fossil fuels currently, though we have long-term policies to phase out the coal and fossil fuels, but currently we heavily rely on these fossil fuels, and that is why India has called it unilateral and discriminatory, because European Union will implement carbon border adjustment mechanism from 2026, where it will impose the import duty on items that are imported based on carbon emissions emitted on production of product. So this is about carbon border tax. Now let us move to the last part, that is MCQs based on today's newspaper. First question is, which are correct statements about NGT, National Green Tribunal? It is a statutory body formed under Environmental Protection Act 1986. NGT is mandated to make disposal of applications or appeal finally within 6 months of filing the same. And these are your options. So you can pause this video for 15 to 20 seconds, try to attempt this question, and then listen to the explanation part. So NGT is a statutory body, that is true, but it is formed under NGT Act 2010 and not under Environment Protection Act. So this is wrong. And statement 2, that it is mandated to dispose cases within 6 months. Yes, that is true. So B is right answer. Moving forward, which are correct statements about collegium system? Statement 1, it consists of CJI and 2 Supreme Court judges. Statement 2, it finds its mention in Indian Constitution for appointment of judges under Article 124. So as we have discussed, that collegium system consists of CJI and 4 Supreme Court judges and not the 2. So this is wrong, and it does not find it mentioned under Article 124. Rather, it is a result of various Supreme Court judgments. So both statements are wrong. D is right answer. Moving forward, which are correct about pardon powers of governor and president? Statement 1, the president can pardon sentences inflicted by court martial while the governor cannot. Statement 2, both president and governor can pardon death sentence. So as you discussed that yes, president can pardon sentences inflicted by court martial, but governor cannot. This is true, but the death sentence cannot be pardoned by governor. It is pardoned by president. So this is wrong, this is right. A is right answer. Moving forward, which are correct statements about no money for terror conference? It is conducted under the aegis of United Nations. Statement 2, third summit is going to be held in India in 2022. Now the first statement, that it is conducted under aegis of UN, is wrong, because it is an independent conference that is conducted and more than 70 countries participate in it. And third summit is going to be held in India. Yes, that is true. And earlier 2 summits were held in 2018 and 2019 in France and Australia. So 2 is right. Last question of the day is, which are correct statements about governor? Term of governor's office find its mention in constitution. Statement 2, governor is appointed by prime minister. So yes, that is true. Term of governor's office find its mention in constitution, and its term is 5 years subject to pleasure of president. And governor is appointed by president, not prime minister, on advice of council of ministers. So this is wrong. So 1 only is right answer. So that's all for today. If you find this video helpful, then please like this video and subscribe this channel. Thank you.